Welcome to Max Life Man, your essential YouTube channel led by me, Dr. Sterling Thorne, and my expert team from the prestigious Evergreen Peaks Institute. For over 2 decades, we've been on the front lines of men's health, in the clinic, in the lab, in the lives of real men just like you. And we're here to give you more than theory. We deliver practical, battle-tested science, the kind you can use the moment this video ends. So let's talk straight. Right now, there are silent killers stalking men everywhere, invisible threats hiding in your food, your habits, even the way you train. They're not just lowering your testosterone. They're stealing your strength, draining your energy, and quietly taking the man out of the mirror. And before we go further, hit that like button right now. Not just for me, for you. Because every time you hit like, you're telling the YouTube algorithm, I'm here to take my health back. And I believe no. I've seen that when a man takes action, the universe moves with him. It's like sending up a flare that says, I'm not done yet. So here's my promise. If you tap that like today, I'm wishing you more strength, more joy, better health, and that one breakthrough you've been quietly hoping for. Try it. You might be surprised at what comes your way. Today, I'm going to take you inside the 5 worst testosterone killers I see destroying men's health every single week in my clinic. And more importantly, how to avoid them so you can build muscle after 40, burn belly fat, and boost testosterone naturally. But I don't want this to be a lecture. I want it to be a conversation. So before we dive in, drop a quick one in the comments if you want stronger testosterone, or a 0 if you think yours is already where it should be. I'll be reading every single one, and yes, I'll be replying. Testosterone, why it's the lifeline for men over 40, 50, 60. Last week I got a comment from a man named Richard, 58 years old, from Ohio. He wrote, "Doctor, Thorne, is testosterone really that important? I mean, at my age, isn't it just about sex?" Richard, I'm glad you asked, because that question and that belief is quietly stealing men's health all across the country. And the truth is, it's one of the most dangerous myths I see men over 40 falling for. Testosterone is not just a bedroom hormone. Harvard Health Publishing, 2023, calls it a central regulator of a man's vitality. It shapes your muscle density, your bone strength, your ability to burn belly fat, your energy levels, your mood, even how sharp your mind stays as you age. In fact, the National Institutes of Health links optimal testosterone levels to lower risks of cardiovascular disease, better insulin sensitivity, and a reduced likelihood of depression in men over 50. Think of testosterone like the electrical power in your home. When it's strong, the lights are bright. The heating works, the water pressure is solid. When it drops, things still function, but the lights dim, the heater struggles, and the water barely trickles out. That's your body on low testosterone. You're still living, but you're not living fully. Now let's talk numbers, because I'm not here to just inspire you, I'm here to show you the science. A landmark study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that men over 45 with low testosterone were 33% more likely to develop metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions that includes high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and excess belly fat. Another study published by Mayo Clinic Proceedings revealed that men in the lowest testosterone quartile had significantly higher all-cause mortality over a 10-year follow-up. This isn't just about looking fit, it's about staying alive and healthy. Here's the part that keeps me up at night. Most men don't even notice it happening. Testosterone rarely drops off a cliff. It's a slow leak. One year you've still got the edge in the gym. The next year you're a little softer around the middle. By year 5, you're struggling to remember the last time you felt genuinely strong in your body or your mind. And the worst mistake, blaming just aging. Aging is inevitable. Decline is optional. Neglect is optional. And that's why we're here today, to make sure you don't give your body away without a fight. So, Richard, and every man listening right now, let me flip the question back to you. Do you feel like your testosterone is firing at full capacity, or has someone quietly turned down your dimmer switch? Type your answer in the comments. I'm reading every single one. hidden foods that lower testosterone. One of the most dangerous testosterone killers doesn't come in a syringe, a pill bottle, or from some laboratory experiment. It's sitting quietly in your own kitchen, and it's probably something you've been told was healthy. Let's start with soy-heavy processed foods. Now, I'm not talking about the occasional edamame appetizer or a splash of soy sauce on your sushi. I'm talking about the constant drip of soy protein isolates in so-called health products, protein bars, meal replacement shakes, low-fat snack packs. The Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism has documented how high phytoestrogen intake from soy can mimic estrogen in the male body. These compounds bind to your hormone receptors, confusing your endocrine system and tilting the balance away from testosterone. Over months and years, that can mean less muscle, more fat, and a libido that just isn't what it used to be. Then there's the sugar problem. Mayo Clinic research shows that just a single high-sugar meal can lower testosterone by as much as 25% for several hours. Think about that. One bottle of soda, one glazed donut in the break room, and your body's main hormone for strength and vitality gets throttled almost instantly. Now imagine that happening every day for years. Your baseline testosterone doesn't just recover. It resets lower. And sugar's partner in crime, highly processed vegetable oils. We're talking about canola, soybean, corn, and sunflower oils, the kind that hide in fast food, frozen dinners, and even heart-healthy salad dressings. NIH studies have shown these oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which in excess drive chronic inflammation. Inflammation, in turn, damages the Leydig cells in your testes, the very cells responsible for making testosterone. It's like turning your factory's machinery against itself. Here's the really tricky part. These foods don't come with a skull and crossbones label. They come wrapped in words like low-fat, cholesterol-free, plant-based, or healthy choice. They don't take you out in one blow. They chip away at your hormonal foundation meal after meal, year after year, until one day you wake up wondering why your energy's gone. Your muscles are shrinking, and you can't remember the last time you felt truly powerful. If you remember nothing else from this section, remember this. Testosterone thrives in a body that's nourished, not poisoned. And some of the most dangerous poisons in a man's life are hiding in plain sight, wearing a health halo right there in your pantry. Workouts that backfire after 40. Here's something most men over 40 don't realize. Not every workout builds testosterone. In fact, some of the routines you've been loyal to for decades might be tearing it down. I'll give you an example. A patient of mine, Greg, 52 years old, former marathon runner, came to me frustrated. He was logging 40 miles a week, eating clean, and yet his belly was growing, his energy was tanking, and his testosterone was in the basement. When I looked at his training log, the problem jumped right off the page. Endless, steady-state cardio. The American Heart Association warns that excessive endurance exercise, like running 6 miles a day, 5 or 6 days a week, can chronically elevate cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol and testosterone are like two kids fighting over the same toy. When one goes up, the other has to go down. Elevated cortisol signals your body to conserve energy, store fat, and protect the heart, often at the expense of muscle and hormone production. Now, I'm not telling you to ditch cardio entirely, far from it. Harvard Medical School has shown that short, intense bursts of cardiovascular training, like high-intensity intervals, paired with regular strength training can support testosterone levels. The key is balance. Too much cardio without resistance training is like watering a plant every day but never giving it sunlight. It survives, but it never thrives. Research in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research backs this up. Men over 40 who combined strength training with 2-3 sessions of moderate cardio per week had significantly higher testosterone levels than men doing cardio alone. So here's my question to you, and I want you to be honest. How many days a week are you doing cardio right now? Drop that number in the comments. I'll tell you if you're in the sweet spot, or if you might be accidentally slowing down your own testosterone engine. And remember Greg, we cut his running back to 3 days a week, added 2 days of full-body strength training, and focused on recovery. 6 months later, he dropped 15 pounds of fat, gained muscle, and here's the kicker, his testosterone went up 38% without a single pill or injection. Stress and sleep sabotage. Last week, I opened my inbox and found a message from Thomas, 62 years old, from Arizona. He wrote, "Doctor, Thorne, I tried that evening wind-down routine you mentioned in your last video, and for the first time in years, I slept through the night. I even woke up with more energy. My wife says I'm less grumpy, so thanks for that. Thomas, you just proved what the science has been shouting for decades. Sleep isn't optional. It's one of the cornerstones of your testosterone. Here's the hard truth. NIH sleep research has found that men who get fewer than 5 hours of quality sleep per night can see their testosterone levels drop by as much as 15% in just 1 week. 1 week. That's not aging, that's self-inflicted sabotage. And stress, it's just as destructive. When you live in a constant state of fight or flight, your adrenal glands pump out cortisol like it's their full-time job. Mayo Clinic reports that chronically elevated cortisol doesn't just keep you wired at 2 a.m. It actively suppresses testosterone production in your testes. Think of it as a hormonal chokehold that keeps your masculinity from breathing freely. The Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, even found that men with chronic stress and poor sleep patterns had significantly higher rates of erectile dysfunction, abdominal obesity, and early-onset metabolic syndrome. Let me paint you a picture. You can train hard, eat clean, and take every supplement in the book. But if you're burning the candle at both ends and living in constant stress, you're pouring water into a bucket with a hole in the bottom. No matter how much you add in, it will always leak out. By the way, if you're watching this in bed right now, scrolling through your phone when you should be asleep, hit that subscribe button before you close your eyes. Why? Because I'm convinced that a man who commits to his health before midnight earns double the benefits. Plus, when YouTube sends you my next video the moment it drops, you might just beat Thomas in the happy wife department. And yes, Thomas, your wife wrote me too. She said she owes me a thank you gift. I told her a good night's sleep for you is gift enough. The silent lifestyle traps. A comment came in on one of my older videos from George, 65 years old, Florida. He wrote, "Dr. Thorne, I've been drinking wine and whiskey a few nights a week for years. I feel fine. Should I be worried?" George, here's the short answer, yes, and not just for the reasons you're thinking. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has warned for decades that regular alcohol intake, even at what most people call moderate levels, can disrupt the endocrine system. And this isn't just about your liver. Alcohol interferes directly with your hypothalamus and pituitary gland, the brain's command centers for hormone production. Over time, that interference becomes the new normal, and your testosterone baseline quietly shifts downward. I had a patient, Michael, 59, who thought his nightly 2 glasses of red wine were heart-healthy. But after years of fatigue, belly weight gain, and low libido, his blood work showed his testosterone was sitting at the bottom, 15% for his age. We cut the alcohol to weekends only, added more hydration, and within 6 months his testosterone had climbed 28% without medication. And alcohol isn't the only silent trap. The Lancet Public Health published a large-scale study showing that sedentary lifestyles, sitting all day, skipping resistance training, moving less than 5,000 steps daily, were strongly linked to lower testosterone levels in men over 50. Lack of physical stimulation tells your body, we don't need muscle, we don't need energy, shut it down. Then there's the chemical assault. Environmental Health Perspectives has reported that everyday products, plastic bottles, non-stick pans, certain grooming items, contain endocrine-disrupting chemicals like BPA and phthalates. These act like fake hormones in your body, binding to your receptors and confusing the entire hormonal network. You don't notice the damage overnight, but after years, it's like your control tower is getting scrambled signals, and your testosterone factory never gets a clear order to produce. These traps don't make headlines. They don't cause a dramatic collapse you can point to. Instead, they work quietly in the background year after year, until one day you realize you've lost more than muscle or libido. You've lost the drive that once defined you. So George and every man listening, take a hard look at your daily habits, your environment, and your harmless indulgences. The most dangerous enemies are often the ones you've gotten comfortable living with. Final recap plus emotional call to action. So let's pull it all together. We've covered the 5 worst testosterone killers I see every single week in my clinic. They're not exotic. They're not rare. They are right in your kitchen, your workout routine, your daily habits, and even the air and water around you. We talked about hidden foods, soy-heavy processed snacks, sugar bombs, and inflammatory oils, the quiet poisons that wear health halos while sabotaging your hormones. The Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, Mayo Clinic, workouts that backfire, the endless, steady-state cardio that spikes cortisol and starves testosterone, and how smarter training can flip that script. American Heart Association, Harvard Medical School, Stress and Sleep Sabotage, the hormonal chokehold that happens when you burn the candle at both ends, and how recovery is as vital as training. NIH Sleep Research, Mayo Clinic, JAMA, the silent lifestyle traps, alcohol, inactivity, and hormone-disrupting chemicals that quietly reset your testosterone lower year after year. CDC, the Lancet Public Health, Environmental Health Perspectives. And here's what the science says. Harvard Health Publishing. Testosterone isn't just about sex. It's a central regulator of strength, mood, metabolism, and mental sharpness. Optimal testosterone protects your heart, stabilizes your blood sugar, and keeps depression at bay. CDC. Lifestyle and environmental choices are as important as genetics in determining long-term hormone health. But the most important takeaway: every single one of these killers can be avoided. You can change your food. You can change your training. You can take back your nights. You can remove the chemical clutter from your home. I've seen men in their 60s reclaim the energy they thought they'd lost forever. I've seen fathers outpace their grown sons in the gym. I've seen marriages reignite because a man decided to protect his testosterone and his health like his life depended on it, because it does. So now it's your turn. Which of these 5 killers do you think has been hitting you the hardest? Drop it in the comments and don't just say all of them. Pick one, own it. That's how change starts. Before you go, do something for yourself. Hit that like button, not for me, for you. Because every time you take an action for your health, you tell the world and yourself, I'm not done yet. And I truly believe the universe listens. My wish for you is simple: more strength, more joy, better health, and that one breakthrough you've been quietly hoping for. Share this video with another man who needs it. Subscribe so you don't miss the next step in this journey. And remember this: you're not getting older. You're getting ready for your next chapter, and it can be your strongest yet.